Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Really sorry I haven't uploaded a video for a long time. It's been a bit of a crazy couple of months. Unfortunately, I've had a nasty injury to my right foot. I slipped over, landed badly, twisted my foot, and I've torn a ligament in one of the metatarsals in my foot. I can't remember which one, but it's been crazy. I've not been able to walk or drive. I've been on crutches. I had to have major surgery, and even now I can't do any of those things. It's been 6 weeks in surgery, and I'm slowly starting to put a little bit of weight back on my foot, but I'm nowhere near being able to walk again for a while, but I'll get there. These things happen. I hope you guys are safe and well. I know that it's a bit of a scary time at the moment with COVID-19. I hope you guys are, at home, staying at home. Just please do that, and we'll get through this. We will. So today's video is a good one. I've had a few requests. It's basically 5 things I hate about my M140i and 5 things I love about my M140i. Now, this is a hard video to make because there's not very much I don't like about that car. Let's kick off with the first thing I hate about my M140i. Now, that is the differential. BMW gave the M140i an open diff from factory, which is a real shame, because having an open diff with 350 horsepower and 500 newton meters of torque is a bit hairy and a bit of a nightmare, especially if you're in greasy conditions or on a track. It just doesn't feel right. The back end is the diff doesn't know where to put the power, and it's very unpredictable. If you're even just pulling out of a junction, if it's a little bit damp and you're pulling out of a junction, you can feel the inside wheel spinning, and then it sort of the other wheel starts spinning, and it's a bit weird and horrible. I don't like it. My opinion is every performance car, rear-wheel drive, should have an LSD, but I understand why BMW didn't put it in the car, and that's simply because of the M2. That can easily be fixed with a BMW M-Performance diff or a Quaife diff. This is something I would like to do to mine in the future, but it's not going to be for a while, because obviously times are hard financially. I just hope I can keep hold of the damn thing. I love it. Number 2 is rear leg space. Friends of mine with the M140i who have got family, kids and stuff, they do struggle a little bit, like they can touch the back of the seats with their feet, and also the Isofix is a bit tricky. It's tricky for them to get the belt on. I don't know much about that, but I'm sure people watching, if you've got kids and an M140i, especially a 5-door, then that might be something that affects you. But yeah, that's the second thing I hate about my M140i. Okay, we're on to number 3 now, and that is the exhaust. From factory, it's just too quiet. It's too refined and too soft. A lot of people might like that, but for me, nah, I want more sound. I want a bit more aggression, a bit more M-car. So yeah, the standard exhaust is just not very good. It does the job, and that can be easily fixed with fitting a nice exhaust to it. There's plenty out there. Personally, I went for the Remus catback because I think it sounds amazing. It's a non-res catback exhaust. Yeah, it sounds great. Like it gives it that bit of M-car sound that wasn't there before. Number 4 would be paint quality, or should I say paint thickness on the plastics. So when I first got my M140i, I think drove it about for a couple of weeks, and I was already starting to notice stone chips on the front bumper, which is a joke. Like, yeah, come on, 3 weeks. Again, that can be easily fixed with having your car PPF'd, or just getting it resprayed when you need to. 5 things I hate about my M140i. The 5th one is, I'm going to say the steering. It's got an electric rack, and it's a little bit numb. There's not much feeling there. Yeah, I mean, most modern cars have electric racks these days, which is understandable. It's the way they're going. But yeah, it's just a little bit, there's not much feel for the steering wheel. I mean, it's very, very precise, the steering. You know where the front wheels are. But yeah, I do miss that hydraulic rack. But as I said, finding 5 things that I hate about my car. It's a tricky one. All right, guys, the bit you've been waiting for. 5 things I love about my M140i. Now, let me tell you, this was tricky trying to fit it into 5 segments, but we're going to give it a go anyway. So number 1 is the B58 engine. That engine is simply incredible. The fact they even put that in a 1 Series body is just bonkers. The torque, 500 newton meters of torque. I mean, that's diesel territory. In fact, mine on the dyno last year made 353 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque. I think that's 50 newton meters off a 335D. I mean, that's insane. But as well, it revs up to 7,000 RPM, and you've got that beautiful top end, and it's got a real split personality, that engine. You know, it does the relaxed about town stuff perfectly fine. You could be in a 120i for all you know, until you actually start pushing on, and it just pushes you back in your seat. And it gives good economy too, which is quite surprising. You know, I managed to get around 40 mpg on the way back from Germany last year. I mean, it's a 3-litre turbocharged engine giving 40 mpg. I mean, that's insane. Granted, around town, you know, you'll be hard pushed to squeeze 30 out of it. I'm probably averaging, or was averaging, 25 mpg, and that was driving quite conservatively, but what do you expect? But, you know, it does reward on longer journeys. It sounds great, makes a beautiful sound. If you get the ZF Auto, you get lovely sort of those ZF farts on the upshift, perhaps not on the OPF ones, but who cares anyway. It's a great sounding engine, loads of power, low down, lovely top end, can do it all basically, a very versatile engine. Number 2 is the handling. This is a bit of a controversial one because out the factory they can be a little bit floaty. Obviously we spoke about it not having a diff, that can be rectified anyway, but I personally really love the handling. It's, I don't know, it's very nimble and agile, and it feels light. I don't know if that's because of the steering, but it just feels light. Yes, you do have to kind of set the front end up for a corner, but I quite like that. You have to think about what you're doing when you're driving. It's not like a four-wheel drive Audi, for example, or a Golf R, when you don't really need to think about it too much. You just kind of know it's going to grip because it's got so much grip. Those cars are great, by the way. But with the M140i, you know, having all that power at the back, and a 50-50 weight distribution, it's a great thing, great balance, and it really makes you think about what you're doing when you're driving it and setting it up for a corner. And I like that personally, and it can be improved with a diff. And if you want to go even further, put some nice Bilstein coilovers on it, and yeah, you've got a real special thing right there. It's got a lot of potential in the chassis. Love it. Number 4 is subtlety. This car isn't a shouty car. It's a bit of an underdog. It doesn't have lots of vents and slats on it and stuff like that. It's a very, very subtly designed car. There's only a few little cues that makes it an M140i, and I like that. It's a bit of a stealthy car. You know, people can ask you, oh, what do you drive? And you can just say, just a 1 Series. And they've got no idea that it's a 3-litre turbocharged beast. You know, the only people who know are the BMW guys and the connoisseurs. But I personally really, really like that about it. I don't like shouty cars that have all of that stuff on there. You know, there's a place for them, but for me, I like to go under the radar a little bit, and you can do that with a 1 Series. All right, guys, so number 5 is practicality and comfort. So the BMW 1 Series, by nature, is a relatively practical car. It's a hatchback. We did speak about the leg room situation, but, you know, I'm being really nitpicky. And, you know, my good buddy Lewis, he uses it as a family car every day and has done since he got the car. Obviously not at the moment because of the coronavirus situation, but it can be easily used as a family car. I don't have kids or anything like that, so for me it's super practical. I can get loads in the boot. I like the fact that it's got the net that goes on the boot floor. You can put stuff underneath it and stops it from flying about. That's brilliant. If you get the seats down and you take the parcel shelf out, you've got a lot of space to put stuff in there. And yeah, comfort. The seats are great. They are so comfy. You know, I've done multiple trips to Germany in this car, you know, with not many stops. And I tell you what, I could do it all again straight after I get there. It's literally that comfy. It's just a mile muncher, that car. You know, that people say it's a mini GT car, and I can kind of see why. Yeah, the interior's nice. It's a nice place to be. It's a nice car. It's got a great stereo. If you get the Harman Kardon, you can get the Pro Nav, which is the nice 10-inch widescreen, and the navigation looks sweet on there. It's just, yeah, it's just a nice package, you know. Yeah, so that's it really, guys. So that's 5 things I hate about my M140i and 5 things I love about my M140i. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. It was a lot of fun making it. Yeah, just stay safe, and I'll see you soon.